Targets exist in two locations within Fullcast. One, in the territories, and two, in the teams. In this video, we're going to just cover the functionality within the territories because the team's functionality is exactly the same. So as you can look at the targets that we've already got here, we've got several different ones, not just quota, but we've got pipeline coverage targets, average deal size targets. You might have renewal targets, but we're going to focus looking at the territory quota target. And I'm going to hit this 3 dots and view details and edit. So this will go ahead and open up the details on the target, and we can see that there's already a tops down approach that's been applied throughout the territories. So the target was calculated by the details and the goal here. And what we've done is actually just looked at the bookings for the company in FY23 and multiplied that by 1.2, or essentially add 20% to the bookings in FY23. We've then taken that and scheduled that across each given month. The schedule that we've chosen to use is a seasonality schedule. So we actually looked at the past 36 months of closed deals and then applied that schedule to put the target across each month. Other schedules could be a manual schedule or rule of 78. We're not going to apply any adjustments at this point, and this will actually come into play as we do a bottoms-up roll-up. So after we've completed this, we've actually set that target, and the target for FY23 is 43.8 million. But now we actually needed to distribute that down to the territories that we see on the left-hand side. EMEA, APAC, EMEA, LATAM, and global accounts. So the way we did that is under the distribution tab, we've used the ratio based on the fiscal year of FY23 and the bookings potential number. So the bookings potential for us in Fullcast is actually just a calculation of, well, what is the potential a specific account could bring us? So this helps us give a percentage of how we are going to assign that target out. In this case, 56% of the target will be assigned to EMEA, 6.5% to APAC, and so on and so forth. So coming back to the tops down, bottoms up, we can see that the target has been distributed down, and then we select EMEA, we can see that it was distributed down even further into our segments. And if we come down into enterprise, we've actually pushed this target all the way down to each individual territory. In this view, we've actually already rolled up a couple of targets, and we'll go ahead and go through that process with Northeast. But this signals a bottoms up. So the first bit is tops down. What is the number that finance has given us? Let's push it down to the territories. And now the bottoms up is just a reconciliation, looking at a different way to calculate that target. So in this case, these bottoms up, if they're green, it means that the potential from bottoms up is higher than what was given from the tops down. And then obviously a red, which these are really low, signal that we've got a discrepancy. So how we do a bottoms up is if I go to the Northeast territory and I can select adjust target, I can start from the tops down. And in this case, we are given the tops down number, but for me, we're going to use bookings potential to calculate out what we think is the correct number. So we'll say bookings potential, EMEA, enterprise, Northeast. That's our bookings potential for this Northeast territory. And I happen to know that the coverage for that is 0.001. So we're going to multiply that by 0.001. And so that gives us a target of about 1.1 million. I can use a schedule that has already been applied. And because this is Northeast and we haven't looked at the assignments, but I do want to apply a productivity profile. And so we actually hired somebody recently in July, and there's a ramp schedule that is attached to that person. So as we look at the productivity, we're seeing a ramped target for the Northeast. I'll hit confirm and apply. While that's calculating out, we'll go ahead and look at the assignments. And we can see Harley here started on the 12th of August. And if I edit this assignment, we can see that the new hire ramp profile has been applied. So this is actually what feeds into the target that we have here. And now we look at the tops down target, which was given from finance, and we have an adjusted target, which now shows the ramps up. So if I go to enterprise, we can actually see this roll up into enterprise. We see our target here and this roll up here, and we know that we've got a discrepancy between our tops down and bottoms up. We can continue to roll this target all the way up to all companies, and this helps us make decisions around, which number should we go with? Do we need to make adjustments to the plan? Should we hire additional people? Do we need to bring forward any TBHs, etc.? Now on the team side, functionality is very similar in the tops down, bottoms up, but we focus on a team's approach. So instead of accounts and territories in the grid, we actually have people. And from a targets perspective, if I go to sales and EMEA and Canada, I can actually see person level targets. The big difference in why you would choose one over the other is if you're assigning targets directly to a person, so you are an enterprise rep, you get $1 million in quota, then teams is where you probably want to be. Now, if your targets or quota is associated with a territory, the potential in the Northeast is $1.1 million, so therefore you hold a $1.1 million quota, then that is territories where you want the targets to live. And that is an overview of our target module.